Hi there. Good morning, you guys. So, this is going to be a different video for me because, like I said, I am in the process of really just assuming that I don't have to be a perfectionist all the time. I don't have to be perfect to make a video. I don't have to, do the whole setup and everything when I have something to say. So I'm just going to come on and talk whenever I have something to say. But on today's video, it is a little different. And I really wanted to talk about what I've been talking about over on my TikTok. So if you're not on my TikTok, you should follow me over there at I'll put it down in the description box below. But on today's video, I really want to talk about manifestation not being something that is extremely logical like we try to make it. And I think the reason why is because when we come into manifestation or the knowledge or the awareness that we can actually change our reality as a whole, we already come into it with the assumption that what we have now or what we've already done is something that we don't want, or we perceive it as something that's bad, and we have to like do all these things to make the changes to these circumstances that we don't like. And it's very simple. It's more simple than that, because if we know that all realities has a possibility to exist, then the best thing that you can do is realize that the reality that you're in that you do not like does have the right to exist, just like the reality that you do want, where you are successful, where you are in a relationship with your SP, where you have the money that you want, where you have the success that you want. All of those realities and all the realities in between that have the right to exist. The problem is when we go to making it something that's so logical, like we have to make all these conditions or meet all these conditions before we are able to accept that we are now the person that we want to be. We are the person that we want to be just by assuming into the position of being the person that already has the money, being the person that already has everything. And if you are one with the all, and we've been talking about awareness, you guys, when you are the one with the all and you realize that when you come back to the source and realize that you are not separate from the source or separate from any reality that you want, any possible potential outcome that you want, they're all here within you. They're all within you right now. So when you realize that, you'll realize that it's just a choice. It's not something that you have to do. It's not something that you have to do. It's not some process that you have to undergo to finally become the person or finally be worthy, because that puts separation and that puts you in the mindset of, I have to work to be worthy of this money, work to be worthy of the SP, work to be worthy of whatever it is. And you're worthy just by your birthright. It is your inherent birthright to assume whatever it is or whatever you want about yourself. And the world has no choice but to conform that back to you. So I think that if we make manifestation back to the simple ways, which is imagination and which is the mindset of, being childlike and being lighthearted about situations, we tend to think that everything is so serious. Even the situations that we feel are dire, those circumstances are have a whole individual, a personality, someone else that's attached to, another version that is attached to that has those set of circumstances. So those circumstances were never going to change. And I've got the revelation the other day that when you are in a reality that you do not like, you have to realize that the person that you are being within that reality was never going to figure it out from that point of view, from that reality. That person that has the relationship with the SP that they do not like, where the SP is treating them in the way that they don't want to be treated, that person has yet to realize, or you being that version has been yet to realize, that you were never going to figure it out being that person. That SP was never going to treat you right as long as you're being that person. So it is a complete identity switch, and it is just an assumption and a choice to only focus on that. It's not something that we have to make mountains out of molehills. It's just a choice, but it first must come with the assumption that you are all things, that you have all things already. And it's just where you are putting your attention on. It's what story are you telling about yourself? What story are you selling out about yourself in your head? Are you the person that's worthy, or are you the person that has to jump through hoops in order to achieve? Because whatever you say, that's going to form that reality, that's what it is in order for you to get it. But if you say that I am all of it, and the only reality that I'm choosing to focus on, regardless of all these other realities, is the person that has exactly what they want now, that is experiencing it now, that is worth it now, that doesn't have to become anything more than what they are now, you're naturally going to gravitate towards that. Just think very childlike, you guys. I've been really thinking very childlike these last few days, and at first it kind of seems like, like, oh my gosh, like I'm just out here just acting like a kid, but you never really left being a kid. It was the consciousness, the collective consciousness of the world and other people's projections that made you pick up those habits and behaviors and those thinking patterns. But once you release all of that and just give all of that back to everyone else because it's not yours, then you're able to see that you are the awareness beneath all of that. And the awareness is free to be and think whatever they want to think about themselves. And there's no one that can tell them no. And so I want you guys to remember that manifestation, your imagination always says yes, no matter what it is that you want. It always says yes. But it is up to you to align with that awareness, that we are only being aware of this story right now. We're not aware of the other story because that story or that version of me had a set of rules, and it was always going to be that way in that story. But in this story, we are abundant. In this story, I do have my SP now. In this story, they do love me. And you sell out about that story no matter what. You imagine it, you feel it, you assume it, you affirm it, but you just go to the knowing that it was just a choice. It's just a choice for you to decide. When you fully decide, that is the way that it is, and no one can tell you different. No one. No one. All right. So we have to stop making manifestation very over complicated, and it has to be done like this before we can do this. And you have to go figure out these traumas and all this and that. No, I just choose a story that I've always been loved. I've always been cared for. I've always been cherished. I've always been supported by my family. I've always had whatever it is that I want. I've always had the support. And we move from there. And then you'll start to see the evidence of so. But you can't be waiting to see the evidence before you assume the position. You assume the position first, and then the evidence follows, you guys. All right. So I just really wanted to hop on really quick. I was up doing things, and I was like, you know what? I really want to make a video, but I really don't want to like figure out how to like, put the setup together and get myself ready. I just want to talk. So thank you guys for listening to this video. My hands are shaking from holding up the camera. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, imagination is always on your side, and I am too. Bye.